Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the bogey-free podcast for the Fort Worth Invitational. I'm your host, Evan Cheney. Today, joined by Matt, Jimmie, and Logan from FanShare Sports. How you doing today, guys?
What's up, man? Doing great. I think Matt is probably doing the best. Congratulations, Matt, on picking the winner last week with Aaron Wise. That was a big call. Very nice. You talked me into a couple of shares, which salvaged part of my GPP week. So nice. Very thankful. And congratulations to you on second winner of the year, I believe.
That's correct.
Congratulations.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I guess the only other thing, like the only other pressing topic to discuss immediately off the hop is the failed hug kiss.
The
friend zone situation for Mr. Wise, which was maybe the most brutal thing I've seen on a golf course since Jean-Claude Van de Velde in the Open. I mean, that was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was if he's going to be part of the brand, he's got to get that figured out pretty soon, because we can't be having guys on my team doing that.
I think he just needs to find a new girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell did. Like, are there any actual stories about who that person is? Like, that was so fucking weird.
I'm not sure.
I've been seeing that it is his girlfriend. That's what I'm seeing.
So weird, man. I'd be like, all right, well, peace.
No, because he said he was there with his mom and his girlfriend. So I think.
Maybe it was his mom.
No, there's another.
She was really young to be his mom.
He's only 21. I mean, come on. He's baby face like Evan. Come on.
Wait, he's 21?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, he's young.
Look at me underachieving.
No. Hold on.
I don't know, man. Did you the last chick that you hugged, did you get a kiss from her or no?
I did.
Okay, well then I don't know if you're underachieving by Aaron Wise's standards.
I'm pretty sure it balances out, like PGA Tour win.
Not getting any.
No. Getting put on the Samson spreadsheet for the NASCAR talent. So I think we're pretty even here. Aaron's got to win another one.
Nice. That's like the DFS version of like a blue check mark, right?
The thing is,
I want one.
Wow.
It was the pettiest thing ever.
Congratulations.
I called him a child, and that's what got me on there.
Oh, well, now you're just getting attention, and that's what that's what Twitter rants elicit. Now you're official, and you got like.
Now you don't have to track your profitability anymore. You can just let him do it for you.
Exactly. I mean, hey, if you want to give a schmuck like me exposure, that's fine. I'll take it. All right. Well, on another note, we do have a golf tournament this week. The Fort Worth Invitational.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, we didn't shout out Wedge. Come on, he
I don't know why. Yeah, go ahead.
We suck, man. Oh my God, we're like again. We're just not good at this yet. We just got to keep working at it.
We practice so often. Sober.
Yeah, sober adjacent, I guess. But yeah, shout out to Wedge for taking down the Listener League. Him and Roger were actually like 1 and 2 for a lot of Sunday, and then Roger fizzled out a little bit for probably the first time ever, and didn't win something. But Wedge came through. I made 6 lineups, put my worst one in the Listener League as per usual. But I had a we mentioned the Wise call. I had a pretty probably my best week in a while. I just wish I would have nutted up and not been scared of like the no course history and not knowing what to expect, because it could have been I could have been on a beach somewhere right now if it wasn't for me being a pansy ass. So what are you gonna do, right?
Exactly.
Process over results, bro.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. But my bank account, not so much.
Well, not yet, right? You need a larger sample size.
Yeah.
Just keep it together.
You gotta keep grinding. That's all it is.
Yeah, rise and grind.
Oh goodness. Anyway,
#
back to the
under 13.
Oh jeez, get me into that rant. So we do have the Fort Worth Invitational this week. Logan, I will throw this to you first. Talk about the course for a bit and what stats you'll be looking at in order to build a player pool for this week.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Jimmie mentioned it when kind of shouting me out this week, but I've actually played this course before. I actually caddied for someone in the Pro-Am a couple of years back in 2014. Played along, or the Am that I was caddying for played alongside Ryan Moore. So it's pretty cool to see a pro kind of think through this course. It's a pretty strategic course. It's tree lined with pretty small greens, some of the smallest greens on tour. So these guys are really going to have to, have their ball striking together and kind of scramble as well to when they miss the greens to kind of keep a score together. I don't expect the winning score to be too much over 10 under par. So, one of those weeks where birdies aren't quite as common. It's a par 70, only 2 par 5s. So really targeting those guys with kind of good approach play and can kind of, pretty accurate players effectively.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, that's what am I going to argue with the guy who's been there before? Like,
yeah.
No, that's sort of what I've been seeing. I do have an article coming out tomorrow with something that I've been toying around with, and I've mentioned a little bit on the show, and I've DM'd with Jimmie somewhat extensively, trying to make sure that it makes any sort of sense.
Don't bring me into this.
No, so now it's like at least you have some. It's like 90, 95-5. Like if this sucks, it's your fault. So
that's probably true.
So I've been looking into DK scoring in like relationship to where golfers rank in different stats. So if you finish top 10 in driving distance at Colonial historically, you lose 4 points compared to those who aren't in the top 10. So right away, we're looking at accurate off the tee. That'll get you about 7 points. And then being in the top 10 in greens and regulation gets you around 12 points. So sort of what you'd expect. And I don't think there's any like big surprises here this week. It's a pretty well-known course, and we've been trying to figure out this course for a bunch of years now. I think it's been held at Colonial since 1946 or something ridiculous. So there's not a lot of hidden information here. James, what do you got there, bud?
I guess just, in the interest of time, go ahead and check out my course preview video that dropped earlier today on Fanshare Sports. Make sure you give it a like. It's on YouTube. Other than that, I'm going to agree 100%. It's very much a ball striking course, and you need par more than you need birdie around here. Bogey avoidance definitely comes into play. Scrambling comes into play for sure if it gets windy, but it's very much a target golf, strategic placement type of golf course, as evidenced by the guys that find the top of the leaderboard every year. So again, my in-depth stuff will be in my article and in my video. Otherwise, I think we can probably just move on. We all agree and know what kind of course it is. So I think we'll probably have the same thoughts on golfers, but I think it'll be interesting to see what happens when we get sort of in the middle. Oh, shit. I just see Charles Schwartzel withdrew.
Yep.
Wow. How about that? Guess I can cross him off my list. Never mind. So
he did quite a contrarian play.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, a 0.01 ownership coming in high. So anyway, yeah, nice. So yeah, let's go.
All right, so we'll jump into our 10K and up guys first. We have 5 guys on the list: Spieth, Rahm, Rose, Fowler, and Simpson. Logan, I'll throw it to you first. Who are you liking in this range?
From this range, I kind of like Rose. He's been pretty hot all year, just coming off of a killer stretch in the last fall, but coming into this year, 3rd at Arnold Palmer, 5th at the Valspar, kind of a course that I would kind of comp it out to this course, tree line in that nature. So I really like Rose. I think his iron game here is just perfect for it, and he's got a little bit of length that can it's always good to have length, right? So the combination of length plus that iron play, I think, is going to be helpful here, and I think he can kind of take this one down.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I'm sort of, I think I've mentioned this before. I always know that Justin Rose is a good play, and I just never actually play him most of the time, which I think is the case for a lot of people. I think
I'm hoping the fan share tags stay low on him this week. So he's got no start calls so far. So hopefully that's the case with all these other big names.
I was going to say, you really need one. That cause.
No one listens to me.
But yeah, I mean, I think, although I guess he was wildly popular at the Masters, but I think sometimes he does go sort of under-owned, and is sort of always in the mix, it seems. So Rose makes a lot of sense to me. I think I'm not totally back in on course history, but Spieth's Course history here is ridiculous. And I think I'm just going to play all the Rahm. I think that's, I don't know. I think that's where I'm at. But I also want to play Fowler, and I don't want to play Webb. That's kind of where I'm at.
Interesting.
Because I just don't like Webb. That's just a personal thing. Oh, shout out Gary Woodland, by the way. It's his birthday today. Just had to get that in there, too.
Nice. Is he in the field this week?
No.
Oh, okay. So no birthday swag. Got it.
Yeah, but
okay.
He's celebrating somewhere. Sorry. Had to get that in.
Gary Woodland doesn't strike me as a hard partier. Like maybe he has like a root beer float.
Hey,
tonight.
Sometimes
It's a hard party for someone. I mean, it could be hard.
Serious. That's right. For a diabetic, it would be like intense.
Jesus.
So,
that's a good dark turn.
Anyway.
To follow up on your point there, you mentioned Rose being pretty popular at the Masters. I think that's because of his course history at the Masters, and I think the lack of here is going to – I think this is a course where there's a lot of history for other people. So I think that course history type ownership, those players that really enjoy or really follow course history to a T are going to go elsewhere this week. So
yeah,
for sure. I actually have that written like in my article as him being a good GPP play for that reason. I kind of don't want Fowler. I want Simpson. I want Spieth, and I want Rahm. I think Rose is that guy that I end up not playing that I should play for all the reasons that you stated. Fowler comes up number one in my overall blended like mixed condition model on Fantasy National, and it's got 10 models put together in it. So it's he comes up number one overall, but I'll probably put him in like a single entry hedge lineup, but I just don't see Ricky turning it on at this golf course now. I could be totally wrong, but I'm feeling Webb. And I'm feeling Spieth. Do we think Rahm gets super chalky or like see the bottom of this field's really, I don't know, it doesn't feel great to me. So the few lineups that I've built already I start with Webb or like I actually drop out of this range and I get to like a 9K guy. So I don't know. Do we think that maybe Rahm and Spieth go like maybe less than 20% owned each, or do we think they get above that range? Logan, do you have any idea yet, or? Yeah,
it's early, but I think Rahm will get pretty close to that 20% range. He's a little bit, or obviously a pretty big discount off of Spieth. Typically this year, kind of one of the trends we've seen at FanShare, and obviously, I mean, you're at FanShare now too, so what we've seen collectively is that the top price guy, so Spieth this week, kind of has been going a little under-owned, or you could say under-owned. He hasn't. The guy actually, we should put up some stats today, hasn't been performing the top price guy, but ownership has been coming in below 20 for the highest owned guy, with people trying to kind of fill out their roster with more kind of balance effectively this year. So I think that trend holds this week with Rahm kind of being that pivot there, or not pivot, but kind of taking some of that ownership and getting up above 20%.
Interesting. So Spieth could go below 20% owned, which is probably lower than he should be given like his track record here and his current form.
Yeah, I mean, his form, right, 21st last week, 41st at the Players. People are really just tripped on his putting as well. Like
exactly, his putting's like what's causing all the problems. He's still like he's crushing it tee to green. Right. So I don't know. I guess I'll probably lean Spieth over Rahm. Maybe people overvalue Rahm's. I mean, I'm going to play both of them, but in terms of like my overall exposure, I'll probably have a little more Spieth than Rahm, just because maybe people overvalue Rahm's second last place, and he's been a bit pedestrian since the Masters anyway. Kind of like choke. I don't know. Maybe it's just Saturdays. He seems to just be off on Saturdays to me. But either way, I'll probably have a little more ownership on Spieth than Rahm, and then I'll probably have a lot of Webb.
Yeah, I think last year he had a good finish here last year, but he was just driving the ball beautifully last year, and I think he's playing not quite as good this year as he was coming in last year, and I think that I don't know if he can put that together. And I agree, I'll probably play more Spieth than Rahm if I even play Rahm. So
okay, I think it does it for that upper echelon of golfers. Let's jump down to our 9K guys, where we have Matt, your dude, Aaron Wise, 9,600 this week. You going back to that well?
I don't I don't think I'm gonna go crazy. I think I owe him a lineup, which is why I'm a fish and I just have to like fucking do this to myself all the time. The guy that I'm most interested in the 9K range is Jimmie Walker. I just feel like it's one of those things where what is he? Sixth last week, runner up at the Players, like fourth at something. What was it, Valero? Like it's just he's been in the mix at every turn lately. He obviously loves playing in Texas, plays well there. Last 24 rounds, he's 21st in DK points, so not the highest of high upsides, but he's just been striking the ball well. He's 7th in strokes gained approach, so I'm definitely narrowing in on Walker. I don't know, Logan. Do you think people are going to get a little worried about the Kuchar miscut, or do you think we'll see like his normal ownership?
It's tough because if he was $600 less, I'd say he'd be extremely chalky. But it's kind of right on that fence with a bunch of really good players there in that range. I think he'll be teens ownership. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. I think he'll have some backers, but I don't think he'll be too crazy.
Yeah, I think I could probably talk myself into jumping back with him as well. And then I don't know. I feel like Adam Scott maybe figured a little bit out last week with the long putter that's not anchored.
Yeah, no kidding, not anchored.
Yeah,
no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Just look away. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Bernhard Langer's not cheating either.
Yeah, no, him and Webb too.
I don't know. Webb and Kuchar is a little more legit, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. But I'll probably have a pretty good exposure to Cantlay as well. If he can putt sort of average, his tee to green game has been pretty solid as of late. So I think he hasn't played a ton, but when we've seen him, he's done pretty well. A 7th and a 23rd place his last 2 starts. So I'll have some Cantlay as well.
Yeah. So I guess my biggest play kind of in this range will be kind of surprised based on kind of how I described this course, but I'm thinking Brooks Koepka. I'm probably one of Koepka's biggest backers in the entire DFS industry, so it's probably just a biased play, but he's really proven his ability to kind of go against kind of the traditional narratives. He's a bomber, whatnot, and play well on bombers courses, but any major venue he plays well on, I feel like he's really able to buck those trends. And I think while the course might not be kind of the prototype for what you would expect out of him, neither was, the Players, right? And he ended up obviously had that lucky double eagle, but ended up in the top 5 there. And I think he'll take that momentum here and hopefully, the only thing I usually worry about him with is kind of motivation on non-major weeks or kind of not non-key events like the Players or the playoffs and whatnot. But I'm gonna risk it this week. I think he's got a sneaky good iron game, and I kind of like him a lot better than the rest of this kind of range. I think he should be priced around that 10K range. So I think he's a little underpriced.
Nice. Yeah, I think Brooks fits the perfect like DraftKings GPP play this week. He's scores lots of points when he does score. So I mean, if he shows up, he's certainly going to be under-owned and he's going to score. And he has a great shot of lots of upside, great shot of putting in like a top 10, top 15 performance together like on a mediocre week. Right. So for sure, like Brooks is a GPP play. I'm big on Jimmie Walker. He's obviously just dialed in right now. So I mean, he's not quite to 5 weeks in a row, which is sort of my cutoff for guys if they're on their 6th week. So he's it doesn't seem like Lyme disease bothers him anymore, so he's good to go. So I have exposure to him, and I also like Cantlay this week. Wind appears to be calm. My concern with Cantlay would be if the wind is up and like these small greens, they're going to kind of get missed anyway. But if the wind is up, I would be a little concerned about Cantlay scrambling. But it doesn't appear to be an issue at the moment. So I'm going to be pretty high on Patrick Cantlay as well. Not really sure Kuchar was a big disappointment to me last week. I really thought that the course fit him much better and that he would kind of take to it, but it was very obvious in the little bit that we saw of him last week. I don't know if you guys watched the coverage, but it was very obvious that he did not want to be on that golf course playing that. I don't know.
He hated it.
Yeah, it was like he was like, I am out of here. I will bogey 7 holes in a row if I have to miss this cut. Just get me the hell out of here. I don't know. I just didn't like the vibe that I saw from Kuchar, which probably means he's going to like win this week. But I don't know. That's what I mean. Like I don't know. It gave me it has me off of him. And then Scott's a fine play, but I probably won't be playing him. I actually really was interested in Charles, but as a GPP play, but that's gone. So moving on.
Sad enough.
Such is life.
All right. Any more takes in this 9K range? Or we jump down to 8?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we'll go to our 8K guys. Of course, Charles not in the pool anymore, 8,900. So Bryson becomes our top priced play in the $800 or $8,000 range at 8,800. Any love for him this week?
Lots of love. I think he's a great play this week. So his approach stats are solid. Scrambly stats surprisingly good, and he played well at which course was it? RBC Heritage. So I think that's another tree line comp course that I obviously a little bit shorter, but I like Bryson this week.
Yeah, he's number one in my model that I built this week for this event. Fairways gained, DraftKings points, strokes gained approach. Like he's up there in everything. Everything that I'm sort of focusing on this week. So no real concerns there for me. I'll definitely have a fair bit of him. I don't know. I'm very confused in this range right now because I feel like there's a lot that I like, but nothing that I'm convinced on. So maybe Jimmie can talk me into something.
I don't know. I guess I'm not convinced on Bryson. I feel like his course. I feel like this is a course that course history matters on.
Missed the cut last year.
Well, 2 years in a row. And he's never been positive in strokes gained here, which obviously he's playing really well, scoring really well on par 5, scoring really well on long par 4s. And I mean, on paper, his game does fit here, but I don't know. Maybe the course doesn't set up well for him. Maybe he plays out of his mind and he breaks his trend and whatever. But I just think that I think there's going to be a lot of people that feel the way you guys do. And I'll just probably be on the other side of that. And I'll take all the Duffner and all the Zach Johnson. And also I'm going to be playing Chesson Hadley, one, because he's playing like out of his mind recently. And also because I tweeted at him based on his Pet Detective Ace Ventura quote. And he liked my tweet. So that's got to be good karma.
100%. There you go.
So, yeah, he's
mash him in.
Yep. Yeah. So Chesson Hadley's making a lineup for sure this week. But I'm big on Duffner and I'm big on Johnson this week. I also like Griot. Lots of people are going to like Griot. But those two guys, Duffner and Johnson, are going to get most of my attention.
What are y'all's thoughts on Kisner down there at the bottom end? He won last year, but he's just playing god awful.
Elite GPP play. I say elite like elite as in if you're playing an elite person, they have 150 opportunities at this, they should play some of him. Otherwise, it's really hard to pull the trigger on Kisner if you're playing like limited lineups. Like even if you're playing 10, it's hard to.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to get there anyway. Like I would much rather play Xander or Chesson or Ollie, like anybody around him, but yeah. I get the play for sure, and I like he's going to be crazy low owned.
Yeah, I haven't played Kisner at all this year, and it hasn't really hurt me yet, so I don't think I'm going to start now.
Fair.
I think I'd rather just play Xander because I like him a hell of a lot more, and I'll find the $100, or I'll, like you mentioned, I'm not like. I feel like smart people are talking about Ollie, so maybe I need to like raise an eyebrow and think about it. But I'm not. He wasn't one of the people that I saw, when I scrolled through the prices and thought like I needed to have him this week. So I'll probably concentrate a lot of my ownership. Depending on how chalky Bryson gets, I'll go there. And I mean, I like Rio too, though, and he's going to be chalky too. So maybe I should just go ZJ, you're saying, Jimmie?
Well, I mean, I don't think ZJ is going to be under-owned. I'm sure that I don't have any idea how owned he'll be, but I'm sure he'll be probably pretty popular. I mean,
like they can't all be chalky.
Game. Well, I mean, ZJ seems like super chalk because he seems like a cash game lock to me. Like if I'm playing a cash lineup, I would be playing Zach Johnson based on his consistency at this golf course, how he fits on paper, etc. So, yeah. I mean, I would say he probably gets close to 20% owned. Griot's probably close to 20% owned. And then like everybody else in this range, like Bryson's probably with Char withdrawing, that's just going to make Cantlay and Bryson more popular. Duffner is the guy that goes under owned. ZJ gets plenty of ownership. Nobody's going to play Louis. Plenty of people aren't going to play Xander either. Like, I don't think anybody's like racing to the ticket window to bet Xander or like fit them into their lineups this week. So
maybe I'll just go like 60% Xander this week.
Like if you feel convicted about Xander, he could absolutely be that guy that, shows up and plays exceptional this week and puts a top 5 together and wins you a GPP.
Yeah, I'll just put this out there. I think Zach has the potential to be extremely, extremely chalky, just based on his early fan share tags. And I think you're right about the cash game ownership. We see that, every week. The biggest cash guy really does bleed over into GPPs.
Yeah.
So I see Zach sucking up a lot of it with, Hadley getting a decent bit and Grillo getting, the rest of it there.
Yeah.
All right. So it's all the Xander. Heard it here first, folks.
I mean, it's not a bad play.
Definitely a conviction call.
No, and your boy Kisner, like if you're playing a bunch of lineups, like even if you're playing 10, it doesn't feel good, but you should make yourself take like a lineup of Kisner, really, because I think you made a good point at the beginning, Logan. Like, I mean, this course history here is elite, and like course history does matter here. Experience matters. I think it does anyway. I think experience matters here.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so we'll jump down to our 7K range. Logan, I'll throw it to you first. Who you like in here?
Yeah, so he was my kind of go-to play last year, my GPP pivot, and ended up shooting a 63 on Sunday. So I'm going to stick to him again this year. It's Steve Stricker.
Yes.
Baby.
Sneakily.
Oh no.
Sneakily second. I'm not sure what this means, but the tradition. Some PGA Tour senior event last week. He finished second at 16 under. So he's clearly still playing fine. I love Stricker's ability on the course like this, where I don't think his length will penalize him too much, and the ability to make birdies just by sinking a 20-footer. That's DraftKings points right there, right? So he finished 23rd of the players and top 10 tier last year. I like it again. 12th of the Valspar this year too, which I'm comping it to. So I like it a lot.
Love it.
Damn it. I thought I was going to be all alone on that island.
No. See, listen,
I love Steve Stricker.
Steve Stricker is the kind of guy that at like 51 years old wins a golf tournament, and there's no lady that's going to come up to him and hug him and say, no, you can't have a kiss. That's the kind of guy Steve Stricker is, and he's a really nice Wisconsin guy, right?
Ladies love Stricker.
Steve Stricker.
He's just drowning in it.
Listen, you've got to be, and Phil Mickelson falls into this category too, because you got to be some kind of stud to be 51 years old and be like, no. I'm going to tee it up with these young bucks. And you know what? I'm going to put a top 5 performance together. Maybe I'll threaten to win on Sunday. But either way, I'm going to beat the pants off of that 17-year-old snot-nosed Aaron Wise that just won last week.
Yeah, he probably will.
Like that's what Steve Stricker is a great play this week. He's in my article. Fully agree. My only concern is that we all agree, and he's going to be super chalky, which means that I'm screwed.
He seems to never be chalked, though. I was talking to someone on Twitter about this.
Oh, dude, I bet he is. I bet 2 things. I bet he is more than 12% owned.
Wow.
And I bet that he beats Aaron Wise.
I like the beating Aaron. I bet he'll beat Aaron Wise, but I'll take a little bet on.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to be over 12%.
He will absolutely be over 12%.
It's probably been 2 years since he's been over 12%.
Are we taking? Let's do an Abby bet.
That's a big
one of you take Wise.
An Abby ownership bet.
One of you take ownership. One of you take his performance against.
I'll take the under 12% ownership Abby bet.
Okay, I'm on over. Got it.
I don't want to take Wise.
So I get to pick both your Abbies. Got it. Sweet.
Oh my god.
Evan, you want any of this?
Hell yeah.
Will you give me somebody under Aaron Wise?
No, I'll take the under.
So you think he's gonna be under 12% as well?
Yeah.
We're talking GPP here, right?
Let's do the $4 or what?
Sure. We'll do the $4 GPP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the big one. I think if we did the 33, it would be unfair to me. Unfair. It would be unfair to you. It'd be like an unfair advantage to me. So yeah, the $4 gives you guys a better chance.
If you do like the quarter arcade, it's like 2.5%.
Yeah, no, the quarter arcade's not fair, but no, the $4 is probably
that's reasonable.
Probably good. Yeah.
All
so
right.
12%. Got it.
There's no.
You boys better get ready for some Henrik Stenson underwear, Abby.
No, you can't reuse. You can't reuse Abby's for me.
All right, fine. I'll get a better one.
Oh man! So
anyway, really like Steve Stricker this week. We kind of skipped over it. I do think Ollie is probably going to go under-owned this week, and if you're playing multiple lineups, he is worth putting a 10% share of, even a 5% share of if you're playing a lot of lineups. Certainly has the ability to score. Maybe not be one of those people that puts together a great Sunday performance, but has the ability to be one of those people that sort of outproduces their finish position with their DraftKings points. Because he's a good putter and he can get hot, small greens, whatnot. So if his iron game ends up on it all, he can definitely sink some putts. Moving down, Brian Harman's interesting for a GPP. I don't really like his current form, so I probably won't be there. I wasn't on Kevin Na last week, and I'm probably not getting on this week. I don't know. Where do you guys stand on Kevin Na?
Yes, please. I would like some Kevin Na this week.
Yeah, he definitely comes in with hot form. Like that much.
His approach game is solid. He finished sixth. Didn't like blow the doors off with his putter, which is what I like to see. Just sort of performing well tee to green, and I think he could carry it over. So I'll definitely have some Kevin Na. But again, it's one of those things where with these guys $100 apart, him with Stricker, like I don't know how much I can go. Like I'm probably just going to split up, between those two guys personally.
Yeah, I'd say I'm going to play a couple guys in this range. I actually really like this range. I think it's good value compared to the guys in the 8. I'd go. My order would kind of be Stricker, Piercy, and then Na, and then Harman I'd consider just because of course history. And I think he just fits the course talent-wise or skills-wise, and he's got a lot of talent. But that 80 shot at the players kind of scares me there. So I'm not sure about Brian Harman, so he'd be kind of on the fringe.
Okay.
Russell Knox, 7,700 bears some consideration this week.
I know. I was waiting for Evan to bring him up. That's Evan's
yeah,
brand.
I was literally
my bad.
taking the inhale of breath to form that.
Go ahead. Talk about Mr. Knox.
No, I mean the putting sucks. Obviously, we all know that. But the ball striking skills. I mean, in this whole field of the last 50 rounds, 40th in the field, which isn't too bad. The strokes gained tee to green is fine. I mean, he's a good play this week, I think, at 7,700, and especially because some of the poor recent form coming in. I mean, he's not going to be that high owned.
Yeah, I mean, and if he didn't suck around the green last week, he probably would have been halfway decent too. I mean, he was 16th, and he lost 2.5 strokes around the green, which is not ideal. He did putt well, so that kind of made up for it a little bit, but. I just want Knox to be good again. Like I enjoyed watching him when he was good, and I want it to like come back around again.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I keep playing him, in small shares of lineups, and he just fucks me every time.
Every time. He's coming around. I have a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's an interesting GPP play. I like him as well. I guess moving down, some of the guys like Brant Snedeker is still interesting to me. Like at 7,500, he's not going to be heavily owned, and he's not as bad as I think we think he is. Sort of interesting to me. Danny Lee will probably be pretty popular. Has played really well at this golf course in the past, and kind of flashed some form recently. Super volatile golfer though. Not sure how much I'm gonna own of Danny Lee, but I totally get the play, and he could absolutely like be a guy that like puts a top 5 performance out there at 7,500. But
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Like I have some guys a little lower that I like.
If we're comping this to Valspar, we got to play some Hadwin, right?
I'm out on Hadwin.
You're out. I
think everyone's going to play Hadwin.
Yeah, I'm in on Hadwin for sure. He's playing very consistent golf, and like you said, I think the course fits well. I mean, cut making machine this year, right? I think he's made every cut, so I like him at that value to make the cut obviously and have some good upside.
Yeah, he's 5th in like my course fit model this week, so I will definitely have some shares of him as well. I think that makes a lot of sense. I do like the Lee call too. I think that he could be interesting, but I'll probably just go like one lineup there, right? Like throw him in somewhere and hope the rest of the lineup hits too.
I just can't justify playing Lee with Siwoo right there for GPPs at least, right? He's got so much more win equity, I feel like. So
what's his course history here? Has he ever played here before?
Siwoo?
Oh, never mind. He's missed the cut twice. Back-to-back years.
Yeah, but that's like what he does, right? Like
true. Like if there's a golfer that you shouldn't care about their course history at any golf course, it's Siwoo Kim for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly.
There's no logical way to be like, no, he's a good play this week because of X. Like he's just all over the place no matter what.
Yeah, I just look more at course fit, right? Like he plays well on that, like Wyndham. He played well. We won Wyndham, right? And he won Players. Like courses like that, I just target that, and who cares about history? It's like who knows how his wrist, his dad, who knows what was going on each of these weeks, right? So it's kind of
one of the whatever.
First articles I ever wrote was like sample size with course history, right? When you've got his amount of sample size, 1 or 2, 3 years, and it's who knows what was going on those years. I think it's just it's too hairy and kind of too much noise.
Yeah, it's worth like if you're a subscriber to like Fantasy National or some site, even if you go on like the official World Golf Rankings, like it's a good exercise to go through and see like what they were doing around these missed cuts, right? Like if it's in the middle of a stretch of 5 straight missed cuts, maybe it's not about the course. Maybe they just were, something was going on, like you said. I think we like dial in on just that event and we don't like have any context sometimes, and we miss on some other factor that could have like hurt them that week. So, not everybody has time to do that, but I got nothing but time. So that's what I do usually.
I mean, don't mind me. I just picked the scab on the bottom of my chin. Bleeding like a bastard right now. I don't know how. I was just absentmindedly scratching my face. I'm like, why is my finger all red? I'm losing blood. Anyway, I mean, going down the 7K range. Who else are you guys excited about? I mean,
I'm always on Von Taylor, so strokes gained approach.
Every week. I think every time you've been on the show, he's been in the field and you've mentioned him.
It's a good course for Von Taylor, probably.
Exactly.
I mean, wedges, keep it in play and wedges.
Irons. He's great mid-iron, long iron player. Hopefully he can keep it in the fairway. I love it.
I'll take the guy right below him instead, probably, and who's I don't know if he's actually they look kind of similar. But Jim is certainly older. I'll take a little bit of Furyk here at this golf course, sort of along hashtag Team Old Guy this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say
along the
your
same
average
lines as
age is
Stricker.
gonna be wild in this lineup.
Whew, I know, man. I'm definitely gonna stack the old guys. But this is like, if there's ever an old guy course, this is kind of it, right? Not very long. Got to keep it in play. You're not fighting for birdie every hole. You're grinding for par in a lot of cases. It's certainly one of those courses, and we saw that Jim he hasn't totally lost his game. Performing well at the Valspar and rating out really well on a couple of my models. So I'll have a couple of shares of Jim. Again, like I would expect him to make the cut here, and this is the kind of course, if there ever were some upside for a guy like Jim and a guy like Steve, it would be a course like this. So I'll take a few shares there. Sam Burns, same thing, falls into like not the same category as Jim Furyk, but same category as some of the just talented young golfers that can break through. And Sam is certainly performing really well with his putter, and I think that guys get hot and they can stay hot in little swings like this, and Sam falls into that category for me. So,
yeah, I mean, this range is kind of interesting for me. Like I was so happy that Tway came through last week after our whole conversation.
Yeah, Tway.
So, but this is obviously not the play, right? Like this isn't.
Oh
this
no,
is
I think he's for sure a good play again this week. I think Logan touched on it earlier. Like distance isn't a bad thing. Like if I'm not mistaken, I can't even find him on my sheet. I think he had like a top 25 here last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Somebody look that up for me, right? Like you mentioned it earlier. Like distance is never a bad thing, and I think that a golfer that knows, like Gary Woodland, your guy, man, your boy, Gary Woodland is a perfect example of why Kevin Tway fits at this golf course, right? Gary Woodland plays really well at courses that sort of take the driver out of his hands, force him to play his long irons and his hybrids and his woods. And he is better than your average golfer with those on the tour. And Kevin Tway fits that same category. Tony Finau, same example, right?
Interesting stat for you. Kevin Tway last year, he was 18th place, but he had 19 birdies, which is 3 more than the winner Kevin Kisner had.
Boom!
All right, all the Tway. Let's go. We're doing it again, boys.
Why have I had to talk
I'm cutting this part out
again twice? Oh my God,
birdies.
I'm saving the ship here. Jesus.
Yeah, all right. I suck. But hey, this is a good omen because I did the same thing last week and then he came 9th. So we're just chugging along. I'm doing I'm making you guys realize it. I'm doing my teacher tricks. Like I'm just making you come to the answer. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're like leading the horse to water. Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, 19 birdies and he finished -2 for the week. So
but that's like awesome for DraftKings.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Nick Watney is worth a flyer if you're entering a bunch of lineups this week. Has played pretty well recently.
What about? I was trying to think. What about any love for CT Pan?
You know what? It's a par 70. So yeah, sure. I
mean, he ate shit putting last week. Like he lost almost 4.5 strokes putting. And he was pretty good elsewhere. So I think that could I think he could make some sense. Not that you're going crazy on him, right? But throw him in a lineup or two. I think that makes a little bit of sense. Jimmie, are you going back to your brand play with Ted Potter down here?
No, I don't think I'm looking at Ted Potter. TPJ sounds like a breakfast sandwich or something. But I don't think I'm gonna go back to TPJ. I do think that at 7,100, my guy back from I think maybe the first time I ever got on the Pat Mayo show, the Pat Mayo Experience. Joel Dahman has been playing some exceptional golf lately. And this is the kind of event that can kind of continue. A small field, not an exceptionally talented field. The top end is certainly a cut above where Joel Dahman is, but I could see him putting together another top 20 performance. Top maybe not top 15, but a top 20 here. But playing really well. He doesn't putt all that great on bent, which is a bit concerning, but he is certainly striking the ball well. So 7,100 and sort of a, what's interesting about this event as all invitationals are is you get a little more than your regular percentage through the cut. So you do kind of have to, you don't have to be aggressive. I guess I always feel the need to be a little more aggressive in these types of events because you sort of have that like extra 10 or 12 like person cushion, it feels like. But I don't know. I could see somebody playing some Dahmen.
Yeah. Evan, you going back to Maverick?
It's an interesting thought because last week his first round last week was like amazing.
I know. I was like, "Fuck! I'm
really
never gonna hear the end of this now."
And then he gives you like a cut sweat on day 2 because he was part of that Thursday AM, Friday PM wave that just had a weather catastrophe with the wind and all that jazz. So he ended up like barely making the cut at 4 under, finishes 42nd. I like him this week.
You like him?
Yeah, I always like Maverick, but the guy, he's a young guy, so kind of follow him.
All right.
But at 7,100, I think he's tolerable. I mean, it's better than the 8K you would have paid for him last week.
Do you think he's going to finish second to Rahm again, since Rahm's in this field too?
See, this is a good troll. I like it. I like it.
But if you finish second, he would certainly be like exceeding expectation, right? So,
I mean, yeah, like if he came in second, that would be like the tits. That'd be great.
There's a chick in my high school we used to call that.
Man.
Hashtag analysis. That would be the tits.
Although, speaking of people who have disappointed me in recent memory, what about Bill Haas?
He's disappointed a lot of people. I mean, I doubt he's disappointed as many people as as many of his family members as like Lucas Glover has.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he go home to his wife and get
what? Yeah, what? So real quick, derail this podcast for just 1 second. Your boy, your hashtag brand is. It's a tragic story, right? Like I read that story and it was awful. It really was like the guy's getting like beaten and whipped to play good golf. It's awful by his wife. Like you can imagine that. Like, so you do like, I don't know how old his kids are, but they're not that old. Like you can imagine when he was winning a lot, like, okay, his kids are, kind of the age where back when he was winning a lot, like, yeah, man, his wife like really kind of held that over him. This sounds like a pretty awful person. She's a really, really terrible human, I think.
I hope he left.
Oh, no, dude. I
mean,
don't know, man, listen. There's complicated things, and we do not understand all kinds of problems. Like everybody's got their own stuff, but that sounded like some messed up stuff, dude. That is one like, dude.
How do you go home to that? Like, how do you play good golf like that,
bro? You look at the booking photo of that chick, dude. She's straight up batshit crazy. Okay, the crazy hot scale, full effect, right? Full effect. Little more crazy than hot. But still, like the ratio,
like significantly more crazy than hot.
Yeah, but the ratio is within range. Like it's within tolerance, right? For you statistical folks out there.
I mean, until she started hurting his mom, I think that probably
awful.
Pushed her over.
Oh, no.
I just want to give prop to Jeff Feinberg of the Pat Management, because every year with the players comes up, he's talking about how this is the event that the wives care about, and I always laugh. I'm like, oh, sure, I guess they really care? They're all making millions out here. No, he was right. He was more right than he knew. Yeah. These wives care about the Players Championship, and these guys in the biggest purse of the year, maybe second biggest purse.
Because it's the one-upsmanship amongst the wives.
Do you think she just needs that new car?
No.
What she needs is a fucking straitjacket. Are you kidding me?
No, they just want something over the other wives too, so that they can pass it.
She's gonna have a prison sentence. The other ones won't.
And then she can be the queen of the hooskow, right?
I don't know. She better get a shank. She's way too skinny to go to lady prison.
That's true. You ever see Orange is the New Black?
That's right. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Someone's gonna mess her up.
She wouldn't survive in there.
No, she better take a plea deal. Either way, she shouldn't be beating like her husband's mother.
No,
Hot
it's
takes
ridiculous.
On Mother's
right
Day.
Hot takes. Don't do that anymore. If you're, I'm sure she's a listener. Don't do that anymore.
Anyway, moving on. Back to what matter. Back to what the listeners care about. The bottom end of this field, and who could potentially win them a GPP.
How about John Huh?
Huh?
Exactly.
No.
He's got the stats.
I
He's
mean,
got some of the stats.
Sure, he does, but like I haven't considered him, so no.
Streelman.
6,700.
Streelman's interesting.
Yeah, I was looking. I thought when you were bringing up what's his nuts, Dahmen, that you were going to say Streelman before.
He was 18th last year. He had some good form going into past 2 times he played. Missed the cut at Wells Fargo and the Players, which is a little worrisome. But
yeah,
he's always a GPP play for me. Like if I'm playing 100 lineups, I'm playing him in a bunch, or probably at least 10%, just because he's got that top 10 upside.
Yeah, I mean he lost everything putting in the 2 missed cuts that he had. He had 2 top 10s coming into that, and he was playing well. So he was still good, or at least like positive on approach. Even when he missed the cut those couple of weeks, it was just the putter. So I'm gonna discount that and play a little bit of him this week.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, he made the cut at both the Texas events. So maybe some connection there. Hopefully he can make a cut here again. Short field.
Yeah, and again, it seems like this is going to be a pretty calm week as of now, weather-wise. Not that I'm going to start weather touting like some of these buffoons on Twitter, but
the weather DFS game is the most cutthroat thing. It really is.
I didn't realize it was so competitive.
Like if you put a yellow on a baseball game,
we all use the same website.
No. They got their own.
Some people pay for the weather.
Like they don't have their own fucking Doppler. Like
maybe they do.
I doubt it.
All right, we're completely off the rails. What do we got? What do we got under 7K? Because this is what I'm trying to figure out.
Taylor Gooch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small sample size, but like he showed up a little bit last week. I mean, we're under 7K in a 120-man field, right, in an invitational. So, honestly, I hope to not be playing anybody. Like I have a lineup with Joel Dahmen in it right now in the big $4, $5, and that's as low as I've gone. I don't really plan on going any lower.
Yeah, my bigger money stuff, I'm not going to play anyone from this range. But if I was playing like the $4 max or one of the smaller money with 100 lineups, I'd be playing some Kadira. Just because of that recent win, played well at the Masters too, which gives him some credibility, and obviously a couple missed cuts here, but I still just like a couple flyers on him.
Jimmie, I got some pattern math for you. You ready?
Oh, hit me because I got something to come back at you with. Go for it.
I hope it's the same person. I'll be so happy.
It could be. Hit me. I'm fired up.
So miscut 11, miscut 23, miscut this week. Maybe top 15 for Witchy Wierenski.
Oh no, I didn't see him, but I was actually going to mention him as he's been playing kind of halfway decent for for this bottom end of players. Yeah. But I did not know he had #pattern math in his favor.
Yeah.
So based on pattern math, what is he going to finish this week?
Actually, I think he's trending in the wrong direction for pattern math. But let's go. Actually, no. Let's go symmetrical. So 11, 23, back to 11 this time.
Okay. So I'm going to hit you back with pattern math. So the pattern math is 2013 T46, 2014 second. This is at this golf tournament. 2015 T43. So a slight improvement over 13. Then he finishes slightly worse than 2014 with a T6. Then we go to 2017 miscut, which means like obviously he's going to win this week. So it's Jason Duffner.
Oh, you went all the way back up to Duffner?
Well, I mean, you said pattern math, and he was the only pattern math guy I had because we didn't talk about pattern math earlier.
All right. I thought you were
pattern
gonna.
math says Jason Duffner is going to win this golf tournament.
I thought you were giving me like a cheapo pattern math. That was
Oh,
that
no.
was a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie.
What do you mean? It wasn't disappointing. It was maybe not what you expected, but it wasn't disappointing because, well, I mean, it's Jason Duffner. His hat game is on fire. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, that's an outrage.
Jason Duffner's hat
He's
game is
killing the game.
Full on swag, just
Killing it.
dripping swag on every tee box. It's incredible.
And Stuart Sink has pattern math in his favor too. Just saying.
Does he? He has a star as well because he popped up in a couple of my models, and I starred him for you.
Yeah, and I think he was top 10-ish. Yeah, top 10 last year here. So for what it's worth. But I hate everybody else.
Yeah, so for all you folks down here, they're going to be playing large shares of Ben Silverman and Adam Schneck. Good luck.
All right, what do we, Logan? You got anybody else down here?
No, I think I'm pretty content with where we're at, guys.
Yeah. All right, why don't we hit some one and dones and say goodnight here, boys? What do we want to let the listeners in on the insurmountable lead that I've accumulated, or
might as well?
Did I make a pick last week, or did I forget again?
No, you did, because you did it on.
Oh,
Grace.
sweet! All right,
Yeah.
I guess I have to log in now. So you kill some time while I'm logging.
Grace saved you, man, with that Sunday.
Did he? I picked Grace. Oh, fantastic
Yeah.
news.
So Evan is bringing up the rear at 1.9. Jimmie is at 2.9, and your boy is at 5.5. So,
Yeah, boy.
See you guys later. Logan, you do any one and dones?
Not this year, I should say. I missed out on it this year, but
Yeah.
I'll throw a pick in there for you.
Who you got?
Let's see. So this week, I like Adam Hadwin.
Ooh,
Adam Hadwin.
it's probably a good one and done.
That's where I'm going. So choose wisely, boys.
So, you're going Hadwin as well?
Yeah,
So just
Love
that,
it.
that
I'm going all in on that Valspar comp. That's it. That's the only thing that's working for me right now. He's making cuts, does well at Copperhead, and I'm just moving along.
Okay. I'm quickly checking back at all the picks that I've made.
I know this is the tough part of the year where you're like, wait, I've actually picked like 20 golfers now, so I need to pay attention.
I think I will probably take Jimmie Walker. Yeah, it's going to be a Jimmie Walker because I would take Webb actually here, but I've already taken him at the Heritage and he T5, so it wasn't like a waste of a Webb. But
a waste of a Webb.
I'll take Jimmie Walker this week.
Oh man,
Ev, where you at?
Give me Cantwell.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Look at us being sharp, boys. This is I think that's a pretty good three-way bet we got going there. That's pretty solid. I'm proud of you guys. Making me look good.
Everybody's sharp on Monday at 8:30.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we're
especially when you get wine and beer in you. Everyone's sharp.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're 100% right now.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
Oh, before I forget, happy Victoria Day to all you Canadians. I have Labatt in hand.
Is that why you asked if Logan was Canadian before?
I did. Yeah, I asked if you're a Canadian, Logan. I was like, I know one of these fanshare guys is Canadian.
Yeah, it's Andrew's fault.
Yeah, no.
And
He threw me off. But he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He'll listen at some point.
By the way, I threw up the fan share hat in the background
Nice.
today. So
Oh, there you go.
just for you, Logan.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness.
Nice.
All right, well, this is a good show, boys.
Right at an hour. Perfect. We
There you
crushed
go.
it.
Well, of course, this has been the Bogey Free podcast for the Fort Worth Invitational. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes under Bogey Free. Also, we're on YouTube, so subscribe to the channel over there. And if we're not winning all the money, we hope you guys do. So good luck in your contests this week.
Thanks a lot, Logan.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me on.
See ya.